Hi, this is Linda Noss, and this is the fourth in the series of polymorphism. When I left you last, I left you with a fairly empty movie object. And what I wanted you to do was to fill in all the missing pieces of the movie object. So I've gone ahead and done that here. And you can see, I'm just going to go quickly through this so you can see it. I've got my default constructor with my super in there. I've got my normal constructor with my super in there. I added another constructor in because you can have more than one movie, so I have a movie copy constructor, and you can see how I use the super there. Then I have my get year and my set year, and I do have my date with 7 days, and the one thing I didn't get was my ToString, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that out of the book class and bring it on in here. That's patron. I will find it. There's a lot going on. So here's my ToString class here. And instead of author, I'm going to put in year. And you'll notice that I kind of updated the checkout date a little bit here. I changed this to checkout date first of all, and I think when I left you, the ToString said today. So I changed that to checkout date, and then I wanted to really get the checkout date and to use this method, so I went ahead and used the method, and here's the month. Now, months in the calendar class, they number from 0 through 11. So the month of March would print out as number 2. So I added 1 to that, but then that didn't really fix the date. So in order to fix the date, I went ahead and looked it up back in the calendar class, and I fixed it up a bit with the book class. So if you look over here, I changed, instead of due date dot set, and I had another thing to get the date here, I used the add method. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, copy it, because that is the line we're interested in. And instead of doing the today.date, today.get, I'm going to go ahead and just put that in. So what it does is it takes the date and adds 21 days. And the nice thing about doing that is it actually figures out if you go over the end of the month, and then it starts recounting. So it does a modulus function for you. But on the movies, I only want 7 days. I don't want 21. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and compile this, make sure it all works fine. And so you need to make those changes if you haven't made them yet. So there they are. Okay, now, there was one other thing I kind of want to talk about before I kind of let you loose here. And that was the test patron. Before we decided that we wanted to set an author, so I said, well, just take my book and say set author, and then give it an author name. I'm just going to give it, okay, Susie Smith. Okay, and then save it. And when I go to compile it, it gets upset with me because the set author method is not my book, is a media object. So it gets upset because when it goes to the media object and looks inside of there, it doesn't find a method called setAuthor. The setAuthor is in the movie object, or in the book object. Excuse me, it's in the book object. Here's the deal. Children can take from parents. So children can use everything that a parent has, but parents cannot take from children. So parents cannot inherit methods from children, but children can inherit methods from parents. So basically, what's going to happen here is I'm going to have to tell the computer to look in the book object. And the way you do that is you cast it. And just to give you a quick idea of how to do that, we're going to say, well, I want my book to be looked at as if it is a book, not a media object. So I'm going to put a cast right here. And I go ahead and compile that. It says, oh, it still doesn't understand it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a set of parentheses around this entire book, my book, like that. When I compile it, it seems to be happy. Now, this is casting like we have casted insta-doubles or any of that type of thing. So it works the same way. You just have to get the parentheses in the right place, and you'll see that it works. So now I can compile it, and I can come over here and I can run my main. And you can see that the title is ABC, the author is Susie Smith. It now prints out a nice date for me. The month is still off, but what you can do is we can maybe use the add method there. So that may be something you want to investigate and change. But in any case, you don't have to. Here is the output for that. So as you can see, I've used the methods from, I can use the methods from the child in the parent class, but I have to cast. The other thing I can do is I can create a movie. And again, we've learned that you have to cast it, you have to declare it as a movie object. And then I can say my movie dot set title, and I can give it a name. And then if I want to give it a year, I have to cast it. So I have to put a parenthesis here. I've got to tell the computer that is a movie. Then I use the name of the movie, which is my movie. And then I say set year. And then in parentheses, I put the number. Now, year is an integer, so I think Garden State was made in 2008. I want to go to compile that. I can do that. And then I can test this by printing it out. Let's see what happens. I haven't tried this yet, so it may be a surprise. Now you're going to notice a few things are happening down here. The patron is connected to everything. So I have a little bit of everything in the patron. Oop. I got an error message. And it's something in my movie class, probably something I changed in my book class that I didn't change. So I'm going to go ahead. I know my book class method works, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this whole method right here in my book class. And I'm going to go over to my movie class, paste it on in there. Instead of 21 days, I want 7. Compile that, and let's try again. It just doesn't like that. What does it say here? Movie ToString 62. Okay, so it doesn't like something in line 62. So again, I know the line works in my book class, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that piece. And it's the same. So supposedly in this piece. This is essentially how you debug. This isn't going to work. Oops, still doesn't like it. So, say. Null pointer exception, line 46. Return date, line 46. I can't see what the problem is right here, but I'll make that part of the assignment. So, let's see if we can figure out what's going wrong with this and correct the error. Because the movie class should be very similar to the book class. So there's something going on there. I want you to create another media object, child object, called Audiobook. And in that Audiobook object, I want you to have the audiobook would be the narrator's name, because every audiobook has to have a narrator. So we're going to create a third media object here. We have movie already, we have book, and now we're going to have audiobook. So class here, call it audiobook. And what I want you to do with audiobook is I want you to make it a child of media, and I want it to have an instance variable of the narrator's name. And let's put another one in, the year it was recorded. So those two things could be in there. So essentially, your assignment is going to be to try to find out what the error is that we just created here, and then create your audiobook. So we'll see you later, and have fun with that. Don't be afraid to play around with things and then figure things out. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.